The Own Your Intuitive podcast is for the creatives, spiritual entrepreneurs, and light workers in the world. The shining ones who have been told to dim their light and stop believing in magic. I say screw that. The time to rise is now. To bring your gifts out into the world in a big way, creating a business that feeds your soul and your bank account. You are a magical being with the potential to change the world, one human at a time. The time for you to own your intuitive is now. Welcome everybody to the Own Your Intuitive podcast. And today I'm super excited because I want to talk about the one word that this podcast is all about. Why it's really important that you foster yours and why it's so uncomfortable to use it in the first place. Today I actually want to talk about the word intuition. What does it mean? How do I know if I have it? And great, now I have it. What do I do in order to make it stronger, practice it, use it in my everyday life to make making decisions and moving forward with anything in my life and business easier? So let's begin with the dictionary term of intuition, which is the ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning. Also, a thing that one knows or considers likely from instinctive feeling rather than conscious reasoning. So, in itself, intuition is an immediate response of knowing. And where that knowing comes from is oftentimes what makes it most uncomfortable. Because you see, there's two ways in which we look at this world or we navigate it, and that is through the lens of really tapping into a higher source. You can call it creator, you can call it the universe, you could call it greater intelligence, but there is a way in which when we're tapped into the source of all things, that we innately are just gifted and understand that if things are giving us a wrong vibrational frequency, we're like, no way, this is bad news bears. But oftentimes what happens is we get caught in our ego and in our fear-based thoughts, which are often created by us in a way that keeps us caught in a cycle of fear and rejection and loneliness. And I mean, the list goes on about what our egos are capable of doing and creating with us. But intuition in itself is a gift that we are all born with. Some people can define it as having a gut instinct. You know, you walk into a room and you look at that person and you're like, I do not want to know them. I don't want to be around them. I don't want them to talk to me. And I'm going to avoid that side of the room just based on their energy field. That's intuition. You know, your intuition might come in when somebody's talking to you about a problem and you can just see the solution instantly. You're just like, your brain fires at a mile a minute and you're like, I know how to answer this. I know exactly what this person needs to do. It's like some sort of symbiosis in your brain. Kind of ties all these puzzle pieces into this picture and you're just like, I wish I could take this imprint and just gift it to them. That's an intuition. Intuition can be spirit shivers. You can feel intuition on your body. It can be visceral. It can come from like a sense of cold or hot, but it can be a sensation or feeling that is a physical feeling. It is limitless in which the way that your personal intuition will actually manifest in your own body. The question is, are you ready and are you willing to create the conversation and the relationship with your intuition in order to foster it and grow it and make it stronger? And you do this with one very powerful way and word to really connect in. And that's trust, friends. It's trust. You need to be able to trust yourself that what you're feeling. And this is where the ego tends to latch on to intuition and make it uncomfortable, is because like when you get that instantaneous yes, no, good, bad, right, wrong, not that those are words that I use in my vocabulary, but for the sake of the podcast, you know, that sense of, you know, urgency of run away, stay where you are, lean in, pull back. This is a good fit for me. This isn't. We know this intuitively, immediately. But what happens is it doesn't feel right to be able to have the answer that quickly, does it? How often can you know the answer and then spend a day, a week, a month coming up with all the reasons why this answer isn't good or right or the good fit for you or however you want to think about it? And in that time, that's when our ego gets involved and is like, we need to look in our past memory bank and show you all the reasons why this is not going to work or why this isn't a good enough reason. You can't just make a decision up in like a whim and think that that's intuition. I'm here to tell you you can. Because the only person who knows things the way that you do for your life, for your business, for your relationships, for your family is you. And when you're tapped into your higher self, when you are tapped into the source of all things, I mean, there is no other clearer communication than your intuition for guiding you down the right path that you may not be able to see. But I can promise you, if you're tapped in, there is like an overview angle looking down and saying, yep, that person's going to help you get here. This is going to be a really good choice for you and your family in order to create that. Yep, this relationship is going to open you up for these things. So I really see this above you. This is your higher self tapped in, going like, yeah, do this, don't do this. Oh, yes, hard yes. I see this as a potential future, obstacle. I see this as a potential future opportunity. And you lean into those sensations and feelings. So knowing that you have these innate capabilities and knowing that if you're not following them, that you're kind of leaning into the version of fear and ego, and that when you're listening to them, you're tapped into a source far greater than you. What do you do with that information? How do you actually use intuition on a daily basis, foster it, nurture it, make it easier for you? Because I mean, if you're just in the beginning of your awakening story, or you're just at that starting gate of stepping fully into your purpose, your mission, then it can be a little bit challenging to trust yourself and trust something that you don't really have any concrete, viable, folder that says all the reasons why you can trust source, like you do your past memories that the ego has available to that. Well, the thing is that you just have to begin. You have to be willing to step into the unknown and foster a relationship and create new memories and new experiences that are unlike the ones that are currently logged in your memory bank. And the thing is that there is no, guarantee that the experiences that you have are exactly the way that the sunshine falls on your skin in just the right way. But the difference is when you're stepping through with your intuition, there's an understanding that whatever it is that's coming towards you is in fact of your highest good, even when it creates discomfort, even when it creates pain, even when it offers you an opportunity to clear something that you're holding on to that is sabotaging where you want to go. And most of the time, people aren't thinking, I really hope that I have to get hurt really bad and, feel really sad or overwhelmed or, an emotion that we often aren't told is okay to feel. But in order to foster any new habit or create any new pattern in our experience, we have to be willing to do something we have never done before. And so to trust yourself in itself is an invitation and an adventure, right? How often do we steer ourselves to ask others around us what we should do? Is this a good idea? Should I do this? I'm thinking about this. What are your thoughts on that? People listening to this podcast, I can promise you they don't have the answer. It's inside of you. They're not living your life. They don't know your experiences. They don't know what your big dream is. They can't even attach to the emotion of it. So shifting from that alone and going from an external, hey, what do you think about this, to an internal, hey, myself, what do you think about this? And then leaning into your intuition and then trusting that the road that you take is of your highest good, no matter if it's uncomfortable, sad, angry. But all of those emotions offer you the growth opportunity that most people aren't willing to step into. So intuition is absolutely an inner knowing. It's an inner gauge of understanding what is your next step. It's fostering listening to yourself, your innate wisdom, and the wisdom that flows through you as a vessel here on earth. And the practice is stepping forward into the unknown with this information, with trusting yourself, trusting that you're being guided into your highest good no matter what it looks like, and that if you follow this path, something pretty amazing is going to happen. So I bet you probably still have some questions about this. And so personally, I would love to create conversation about this because I think intuition in itself can scientifically be proven. It is something that it goes beyond what the current level of understanding of the human population has. And so if you would like to engage in a conversation, send me a message at tamara@tamaraarnold.ca. Let's connect. Let's talk. Let's lean in. Tell me all about what your intuition is, how you serve with it. I look forward to hearing from you. And I am like one of these humans that actually respond back as Tamara. So Tamara@tamaraarnold.ca. And I can't wait to have this conversation with you. Have a great day.